Welcome back to another Severance Season 2 theory video. You got Dan, Jules, Billy, and Xander here. What's up, everyone? And we have a fun video planned for you guys today. What we're going to talk about is Irving. What's his next steps? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see what you guys think. Helena/Helly. Is she reintegrated? Is she not? Stuff like that. And then some two wild ones to end it off with. We also have a video from Jen the teacher again. If you guys want to be included in the next theory video, just comment below, watch our weekly recaps, comment on those ones, and you can get in these videos. And if you want to be in the video, DM us on Instagram or Twitter at Scene Invaders, and you can actually be in the video like Jen is. So, all right, starting off hot and heavy with Irving stuff. Jules, what do we got?
All right, this is from Pixie Princess 2765. This is not going to be the last we see of Irv, not by a long shot. Although it might be the last we see of any Irv, at least for a while. They started showing fairly early that Audi Irv is definitely up to something and is investigating Lumen from the outside and trying to get his innie to investigate from the inside. Since they keep showing bits and pieces of the storyline, but only every once in a while, it has to be massively important in my opinion. I think whatever Audi Irving is planning is going to be the key to taking down Lumen.
All right, now, everyone in the comments be nice to him. They spelled Lumen wrong. Let it go. It's okay. It's a tricky word to spell. Lumon. What do you guys think about that? He's not done. He's not done. He's coming back.
No,
and the next comment deals more with what he could be up to. So I just wanted to throw this one in there because you might have thought that while watching the episode, right? Like, holy shit, he just got fired. What's up with his story now? So yeah. He still has Bert. Bert was following him. He called someone. Who was he talking to on that phone? There's stuff that he could do. He could go meet up with Devin and talk with her. Mark's reintegrated now. It takes a while to kick in, we think. So he could talk with Mark. So which ones are most likely to you guys?
I think this theory made me realize something that I think Jules' theory is totally right. I think Audi Irv was not sleeping so that he could get any Irv to fall asleep at work. And then
I agree.
Subconscious isn't severed. So
yeah,
I think that's how he was making any Irv work for him from the outside, which is crazy cool, man.
Yeah.
So smart, man.
Is that what he meant on the phone call? He's getting the messages? Is that what he meant?
Or he might be talking to I can't remember the name of the woman that severed Mark, but he might have somehow figured out how to contact her. Yeah, Ragabi.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, which would be neat.
Yeah, would be.
I was going to say, I don't remember if I mentioned this before in the last one. How much do we think that the Lexington letter stuff is going to tie in?
Okay.
Because it's possible that he's talking to Peggy, the lady that they talk about in the Lexington letter.
All right, guys, comment below if you want us to do a Lexington letter video. Jules has the information. We could do it mid-season. I was thinking waiting till maybe after the season to do it. If you want it mid-season, we can do it for sure. So let us know and we can talk about that in full. But yeah, I think it could have a lot to do with it, Jules. That's a very good point. And if you don't know anything about it, look it up. And if you don't know anything about it and you want us to tell you about it, just comment below, do a video on it, and we'll do it. 100%. All right, the next one is more on Irv. Bill, what we got?
This one's at Cat Collins Books. My theories are that Irv's hang in there was a clear message, and Dylan will figure it out and find something important when he unravels what it means. Also think Gretchen is having an affair with Michek. I mean, he's hot, and I would love it if he was getting some action. Makes the tension between him and Dylan more layered. And I 100% think Helena will end up pregnant. I believe her obsession with Mark has a lot of complexity. It's not that she's just into him, but she was out to get another Eagan on the way, and she's jealous of Helly's relationship with Mark. It's not like she has a lot of options in the Audi world anyway, and sex is a way to control people. Okay, so Felicia's comment, I'm thinking maybe he hid something behind/inside the painting in the office that says, hang in there.
Yeah. So we saw that painting
really
in season
good.
1. Yeah. So that could be like literally why he said, hey, hang in there.
I did not put that together. I like that a lot.
So this is really cool stuff, and I like it a lot, and I 100% think that Helly's pregnant. I brought it up in the last video. 100%. It did. You know, they show the baby in the intro, right? You see that creepy little baby shot in the intro. So
they made like a really big point to like showcase them doing it. So I feel like there's a reason for that. And I do like the idea of her trying to weasel another Eagan out. I don't like the way I just said that. But like I just think it's interesting. She's like going a different route to get more Eagans.
All right. I know we want to talk about this some more, and we will, but we have to play this video from Jen the teacher because the way she thinks of it makes it even more complex. So let's check this out, and then we'll talk more about this.
Hey everyone, my name is Jen, and I have a few theories about that whole Dieter story in the woods during the team building exercise that we saw in last episode. I'm not really sure which way I fall, so I really have two main theories with Dieter. So here's my first theory. I think if the story is what we heard and which true to what it said, key part, then I believe that Dieter may have impregnated someone prior to running off into the woods to live as paupers with his twin Kier. So I think that this because Mark's mom, his name is Fern, and being in the woods and Fern living like paupers. So I was thinking, since it's such a family, what if Mark was a descendant of Dieter and Helena a descendant of Kier? Since the two of them had relations last episode, what if Helena does become pregnant, right? Helena do become pregnant, and that's the baby that we see in the opening theme sequence. And going off of what Xander said, if they're rebuilding Kier's mind, that baby might be the perfect body to grow with an implanted chip of Kier's mind and intelligence growing. So that's what I kind of thought of as a theory for Dieter, because it would just continue that line right there.
Family love is big in media, right? You got Star Wars, Game of Thrones, and you got Back to the Future. It makes for good quality shit sometimes, right? Family love. You guys all know what I'm saying. I can't say it because it's YouTube. But I don't know. I just think it's really interesting. Jules?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's interesting. It's a common theme, just historically speaking. But I also, as weird as it sounds, think it gives it like more of a grounding in reality, because I personally wouldn't include family love in my version of Utopia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just a quick thought on that.
I think for me, I always assume that the baby in the intro was Devin's baby. That's his sister's name, right?
Yeah.
Where I was assuming that baby's going to play a bigger role at some point, maybe.
What if that's a family love baby?
Oh, no.
Could be.
Oh, no.
Rickon could be a secret Eagan. We were talking about that last week.
Yeah. He's the board. Rickon's the board.
Yeah.
Breaks
Yeah,
everyone's
Rickon's
brains.
definitely the board.
All right, Billy, what's your
Rickon's
thoughts?
actually Kier.
What's your thoughts, Bill?
I think honestly, for the idea of the control of the baby's obviously a big layer of control, but I think a question more so too is with this Audi Helena is Audi Helena really down with the cause? Is she trying to be the next in line? Would she want her kid to then have to be the next in line and have the scrambled brain and carry the consciousness, right? And I don't know if we know that, right? I mean, I do think there was the level of control there, but I do, like we said, she was envious of her innie, but I think, like you said, she doesn't have a lot of options, and she probably wanted to have some kind of emotional, romantic connection. So I think that's a big question. That's going to kind of dictate where this goes. Is she really down with the whole Eagan cause, or is she going to want to get her little family out of there? And I think that's kind of the big
I just realized that we don't really know Helena on the outside, because the only time we really see her speak is when she's speaking to Helly as an innie on that videotape.
Yes.
And her dad seems like a person that would probably coerce her into being severed, even if she didn't want to be severed, to make her the face of Severance.
Yeah.
So we don't really even know. Like Billy said, she might not be like down for the Eagan-ness of the world. She might be on the side of the innies, but you know.
Personally, I kind of feel like she isn't.
Yeah, me too.
I'm kind of feeling like Helly's a reflection of like how she actually feels. So I would definitely see that. Them being like, oh, surprise, she's actually on the innie side.
That would be a twist. Yeah, that would be a really fun twist, because the way I take her, I take it at face value, right? I see her as a soldier for the Eagans, doing whatever it takes to take Lumen to the next level, right? Being the guy, you know, per se, to do what you need to do and get shit done. So that's the way I see her. So if it was flipped, that would be quite the twist for me. But it's a great segue, because the next one, we had a talk in our previous video about her being reintegrated, right? And this comment deals with that's not the case. And I'm kind of on this person's, I'm on this person's side now. Now, you guys might not be swayed, but I'm kind of with this person. Xander, what do we got?
All right. So this one is from Cloud Zero.
Cloud Zero Roman numeral.
Yeah. This one's from Cloud Zero, numbers in letter form. Guys, remember Helena is super, super jealous of Helly, and she studied the tapes from the severed floor. Helena cannot switch back and forth between Helly. She's just trying to act like her. She is not reintegrated. They showed the Glasgow. It is a block. That does not let the innie come out when they switch over from the outie. Lumen does not believe in reintegration. Also, it takes time to work after reintegration.
Thoughts? I'm kind of seeing their side.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, Bill, you too?
I agree. It seemed like it was at least this episode, but I mean, I thought it was the Audi there, and so we obviously got that confirmed that it was the Audi. But
I definitely think it was Helena in there, but they're right. I mean, after they brought up the Glasgow block, it does make more sense for it to be Helena just acting like Helly.
Yeah, it still could go either way. Xander, I know you're on the other side, so let's hear it.
I'm going to defend myself.
Go ahead.
I think that in order for Helena, like if I was Helena and you're that rich and powerful and your dad was like, put this chip in your brain and you know what the chip can do because she's a part of Lumen. Like she knows they could just flip her or delete her, reset her at any time, make her like a permanent innie. So why would she let them put that chip in her head if, I don't know, maybe they set it a different way so she has the memories of Helly when she's Helena? That would make a lot of sense maybe. Or the Glasgow switch like makes her Helena, but she has access to what happened as Helly. Because it felt like she knew enough intimate things and knew how to act like Helly in a way that was more subtle than, I guess, like being an exact Helena.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like less of an act and more just like a natural reaction, and like the way she switched back and forth kind of between Helly and Helena.
Because she studied the tapes on Mark, true. But we didn't see her, at least on the show, study the tapes on Irving and Bert. And she knew that info. And it would make sense if she was reintegrated, even though it does seem to take time. And it seems to be only 5 days that passed in the first 2 episodes. But it does seem that she does have both memories, right?
Well,
at both times.
The other thing is, what would be the point of sending her in as an innie if she didn't keep those memories?
Yeah, she would need them.
Like, wouldn't the idea be for her to come out and like kind of report back to like what's going on?
100%. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know though. I mean, the Audi, if it's just been the Audi this whole season, I mean, they haven't really done a ton in the office as far as sitting around office work. They've kind of been down there a few days and kind of just like wandering and going on these kind of missions, right?
Yeah,
so to me, that's the better argument for it being the Audi, because they have now Irv was there with her for a day and he sniffed her out hard. Took him a day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure the others would have started picking up on it. I think that was a good tactic on her part too with Mark. Like, once he goes in there, it's like, oh, if we talk for too long, he's probably going to pick up on it. So let's just like hook up and stuff.
Let me just flirt with this dude hardcore. Yeah.
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 Great. Totally. Sex is great for distraction and control, you know?
Yeah, it is. All right. So I'm with that comment, but I could go with Xander as well. I could see both sides. What do you guys think? Let us know down below. Next up is from Melissa Bell 2286. I think the Ort bow was designed by Helena to get impregnated by Mark, thus carrying on the Eagan bloodline. I think she saw this opportunity when she watched the tapes of Helly and Mark. Also, now that Irving is gone, I'm sure they would swap Helena back straight away. It's hard to imagine the benefit of keeping Helly alive. And once Irving's innie is gone, wouldn't Irving's Audi just be standing there in front of everyone? Wouldn't that be weird? Okay, so first part, that is a great theory to say that it was her idea to get impregnated by Mark, because you had no milkshake intervening when they were in the tent together. And that could have been a thing, like, hey, what are you guys doing in the tent together, right? Wouldn't he want to protect Helly or Helena and keep an eye on her? I can see this being the case of her wanting to get knocked up by Mark. And that completely complicates his life, because he's trying to still save his wife, who is somewhere on Lumen's severed floor, on the testing floor most likely. And it really kind of puts things in a total whirlwind for him, because he does have feelings for Helly. He didn't know it wasn't Helly at the time. And now he's going to have to deal with the fact that, oh shit, you're back and we just had sex. Sorry about that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot of layers there.
That's weird.
Yeah. She's going to feel like we had sex.
How does consent work with that?
Yeah. She's like, well, I wanted to have sex with you, but I didn't. It's like, what the hell?
I have moral issues with this. Okay.
For real.
Yeah.
I don't know if Milchick knows if Helena is Helly right now. I don't know if we know that for sure. So, and I assume that this kind of thing you'd want the least amount of people to know, because that is less risk. So maybe he didn't even know.
Well, he had to know, because he said turn off.
Maybe once she said his first name, though. That may have been the trigger where he's like, oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
It could have been that moment where he figured it out, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. I'm up for either one. All right, the last two are out there kind of stuff that make you think.
Right. So Keith Thompson, 4721 says PD's map had a team building area on it.
And then Madam Misadventure adds to that saying, ooh, good detail. I know a lot of people are saying that they think the whole episode takes place in some sort of Truman Show-esque fabricated space. And that's why the television set appeared from out of thin air and didn't need to be plugged in.
First off, shout out Madam Misadventure, new Discord member. If you guys want to become Discord members and be awesome people, it's a lovely, lovely place. It's the most comfy place on the internet. Everybody's nice in there. It's really true, too, because they saw other versions of themselves. I know people said Ortbo also, what's that called? Like an anagram when it spells something else?
A robot, right?
It spells robot. And yeah,
I just realized that when we were reading the last comment.
Yeah.
So I swear I didn't look that up.
People also think that there are robot versions of all the MDR workers, and that's who you saw in episode 1 when Mark was looking for Miss Casey's office. You see someone walk by him real quick, and they think it was the other version of Mark. I think that's a little out there, but this thing, like, I like.
Those doubles though didn't seem like exact copies of them.
Yeah.
So I could see that.
Yeah, I could see it, but this part of PD's map having a team building area on it.
That's really interesting.
And it all being in Lumen, kind of like AR, I guess, or wouldn't that be called augmented reality?
Yes.
Something like that, where they're not actually outside and they're actually in a section of Lumen, which would make more sense to me. Like, why risk?
Like, think about the goats. The goats area. They literally walked into like a fucking hills and shit.
I mean, if you've ever been on like a major monster sound stage or something, they could be on like a giant, they could just be a giant movie set sound stage type thing they have going on. I also would like the idea that they're just like 500 feet behind the building. Like they're just literally right behind the building. Literally is like by this wilderness, and it's not that far.
There's just like 3 yards of trees separating them.
Yeah,
ride a quick quad ride right over to where they are.
Xander, you're burning. What do you got?
No, I just like the idea that it could be some big Truman Show-esque thing. Like,
I do too.
Lumen is so powerful that they just own a plot of land. They have like a dome over that they control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something
Which,
crazy
I mean,
like that.
I could see that being a way to further their goal. Isn't their whole thing to like control people?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So I thought
it'd be a good way to see if it works.
Okay, so we have one more comment, and then you're gonna see, before we do our outro, Jen's follow-up to her Dieter video. So let us know what you guys think about that in the comment section. But first, we got one more.
This is at Joshi9453. First of all, love y'all's podcast. I have a theory that I'm not sure if it makes any sense or has been said before, but here it goes. We know that all the stories about Kier are BS. My thought is that Kier never existed. He's just this idea of a person that could inspire a cult-like following. So rather than try to recreate or reincarnate him, they're actually trying to create him, which is why MDR is working on different people's emotions. They're trying to find the traits in different people that will create this mythical feature. Let me know figure. Let me know what y'all think. It's a cool theory, but I would hate it. Now, based off all the stuff we've been talking about, having the consciousness transferred of this like Adam Smith-esque dude. I was like Elon Musk. I want that. I want that evil dude. Like, that's who I need.
Josh did preface it by saying, I'm not sure if this makes any sense, but it is.
Oh, it totally makes sense.
It makes sense.
It does make sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
It does make sense. But I definitely think Kier was a person, and what they're trying to do is what Xander's been saying this whole season. Can you explain that for people that are watching for the first time?
So I read this theory on Reddit. I'm not going to take credit for it, but it's the idea that MDR is sorting all of Kier's, what are they called? The 4 things.
Tempers.
Yeah. So MDR is sorting all of Kier's tempers that made up his consciousness. That was his belief that those 4 tempers make up your consciousness. That's why they're all kind of different versions of each temper. They all kind of like have the traits of what the 4 tempers are. Mm-hmm. So it makes a lot of sense. In the first season, they're like, feel it out. So they're rebuilding Kier so that Kier can be put into someone's brain with a severance chip. That's my idea.
Yeah, and we talked about that in a previous theory video. So if you want to hear about that, subscribe and go check out our other theory videos. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. And I don't know. I thought this one was a good mind bender to end on. So I liked it a lot. So any last thoughts before we play Jen's final video to play us out?
Question. Do you guys think that Kier's twin is real?
Oh, shit. Dieter the fake.
Because my friend Curtis thinks that it's more of like how do I
Allegory?
say this? Yeah. It's like basically it's more of like another personality almost, like another persona that he's
Oh,
trying to give
shit.
himself.
Okay. All
Oh,
Like
yeah,
right.
he's
that
trying to
could've
like
been one
he's
of
trying to
his
like
tempers.
separate him from his vices. You know what I mean?
Mm.
First severed person.
And when he died from jerking off, like that was
Yeah.
Kier stopping
It was
jerking
just
off. Yeah.
yeah, it was just him like, killing off, so to speak, all of his bad traits, I guess.
I like it. I'm down.
I think also this show really feels like it's saying something. It feels like it wants to say something.
Yeah.
I think the idea of really rich people trying to like live forever and control the human race is such a more interesting thing to say than, I don't know, making up a dude and then making him real.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Totally
Cool theory
agree.
though.
Totally
Super cool
agree.
theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we got. Jen, play us out real quick.
Hey, so here's that second theory video that I have about Dieter. And again, I can't really decide. There's so many directions this beautifully layered, ingenious show can go that I love so much about it. So what if, okay, hear me out. It wasn't actually Kier who returned, but Kier that died. And it was Dieter that actually returned, stealing Kier's identity. So what do we really know about Kier? We know as a child, he was like really sick all the time until like the age of 12. So what's at the age of 12? I don't know, puberty, jerking off and leaving your lineage all over the forest. So what if Dieter overpowered Kier and really killed Kier? But there's all this documentation and history of Kier and being sick and really nothing of Dieter. And everybody kind of already knew Dieter was like the weird one that wanted to go off into the woods. What if he was like, oh crap, I can't do this. And all the four tempers came to him and he had to tame all of that and went back as Kier. Because at age 12, he was able to do manual labor, start working in the factories. He married Imogen and, then went to the military and became a doctor. And all of this helping people is what made him create Lumen. So Dieter's name in German means army of the people, right? And we know that Kier means the dark one. So what if Dieter's the one that had to tame the dark one? And now he is raising an army of people through the Severance chip. And then one reference that I found to this is when obviously Dylan and Irving and fake Helly come back for the very first time, and there's that painting right in front of the elevator. The painting was called, I wrote it down, Kier pardons his betrayers, right? So what if you see that all those army people and they have kind of like a blank face, you can't see them behind him, and then you see an older version of like the Lumen building. So I'm thinking that maybe this is all Dieter and not Kier, but Kier's like still in his mind, haunting him, and that's why he constantly has to tame all the tempers. And also that waffle scene with Dylan, and he was allowed to like sit on the bed, and the way they were dancing, maybe Dieter like still need another place to go and do his thing, kind of a thing. So I'm thinking it's Dieter and not Kier. Swap of identity kind of secret thing. Let me know what you guys think. Bye.
All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. We do these series videos all the time, so if you like what you saw, please subscribe. And yeah, if you want us to do the Lexington letter video, just let us know in the comments below. What are your theories? Let us know what you guys think. Put those below. And if you want to be in another theory video coming up soon, like I said, DM us on Twitter or Instagram at Scene Invaders. Send us your theory video, and you'll be in the video just like you saw Jen, the teacher. All right, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Later.
Guys.